Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I just want to do an update video on some of the positions that I have open and one that I did close today. So today I went ahead and closed my Upstart put options. As you guys may have seen if you follow me on Instagram or if you're part of the Discord, I did open up an Upstart put last week looking for downside after seeing that earnings gap up. I figured Upstart would go ahead and fade and fill that gap, and we did start to see that happen today. Very nice day, very nice downside day for Upstart, and a very good day for the put options. So I did close those after seeing Upstart hold a very strong technical level, which I'll go ahead and show you guys in today's video. Now, after that, we're gonna look at the two swing trades on Walmart and Procter & Gamble. Unfortunately, today I did give back some of those profits. A little bit of a down day for the XLP, the consumer staples. However, I don't think both of these stocks broke any trends. Still think there could be some strength on the consumer staples sector, and that is why I continue to hold with further dated expiration. So I still have about 2 to 3 weeks on Procter & Gamble and Walmart, and I still believe there could still be some strength in that XLP sector. So I am still holding those positions and wanted to give you guys an update on the technicals today. So overall, just doing an update video, guys, on my positions. Hope you guys enjoy it. Press that like button if you do after watching it. Subscribe to the channel for more, and make sure to come hang out in the pre-market live streams every single morning starting at 8 a.m. So guys, before we jump into the trades, I quickly want to let you know that there will be no video on Thursday. I will be out of town, so no video Thursday, and unfortunately no live stream Thursday and Friday. So just wanted to let you know, make sure you have a heads up. Thursday and Friday, I will be out of town, won't have those live streams or videos available. Now, tomorrow, I'll be here. That will be the last live stream of this week, so feel free to come check in. Come check out the live stream starting at 8 a.m. So let's go ahead and jump into the charts, jump into the trades. So the first trade that I took, guys, was Upstart. Upstart, here it is on the daily chart. This is what I was watching, right? So we had that earnings push higher over here on the right side of your screen. You're going to see an earnings push to the upside right here. You guys can see earnings push to the upside, creating a gap on the daily chart. Now, as you guys know, we've seen a lot of stocks that gapped up on earnings and ended up fading back into their gaps. I wanted to see if I can catch the exact same thing on Upstart. I felt confident on this trade because I knew Upstart was a stock that was under a lot of pressure. One of those stocks that has been getting sold off, a stock that I really don't think can find upside in an overall weak market, and it sort of worked out here. I'm very happy with this trade. I'll go ahead and pop up the P&L for you guys to see. Very nice trade. Obviously could have scaled up into this one, but I'm still focusing very much on risk management and not wanting to expose myself too much in this market, even when I am very confident. This was a trade that I was very confident on because of the behavior that I have seen on other earnings moves. Some examples to show you. One of them, Google. Google had fantastic earnings, and even Google faded after their earnings pop. Twilio was another great example. Twilio pushed higher on earnings. It's not quite a gap because the next day it totally filled it, but this was a gap up here on their earnings and completely filled that and moved lower. I'm sure there are a ton of other examples that are just not popping up into my mind, but Upstart was another one that I was looking for the exact same thing, and we got that very nice. So you guys can see right here, little gap up, filled that gap. My key level to see if the gap would start, if I go to the 5-minute chart, how I was sort of playing this on the intraday basis, I was looking to see if we could break this right here, right around this 132. If I zoom into this, this is the 5-minute chart. You guys are going to see that right around this 132 was where I believed if we broke below, we would start to see some very nice downside. So you guys can see back on Friday of last week, I did enter this play after I saw that 132 breakdown. And then I also saw towards the end of the day that we continued to turn that support into resistance. This morning, didn't get faked out of this position, didn't trust that move that we saw early morning, saw that push higher, but we rejected at the exact same point, the 132 level. So Upstart proved to me that the previous support was turning into resistance both Friday and today. Went ahead and closed this as we were starting to hold up at 120. There could be some more downside here, guys, and we have not fully filled that gap. If I go back to the daily chart, I do believe there could be some downside to around 110, but I do want to show you one level as to why I did close this today. So if we go to the 4-hour chart and we look at $120 a share, you guys can see that it is right around these previous highs. So I didn't want to mess around with this level. I said, you know what? This is a nice profit. Let me go ahead and lock this in. It's not very often that we get these nice winners in this market right now, and I didn't want to get greedy here. So I did take my profits around this 120 level. I was sort of noticing that there was previous resistance, previous resistance, and maybe, just maybe, Upstart wants to go ahead and turn previous resistance into support, and then we get another bounce off that. I didn't want to mess around with it. It's totally possible for it to hold up here, and I went ahead and I took my profits. Now, of course, if I see Upstart break below 120 and turn that into resistance, I will definitely be interested in maybe re-entering this put option to get that entire gap fill back to around $110 a share. So that was the first trade. Took this on Friday, went ahead and closed it today. Nice win, and just a really nice earnings fade, gap fills type of trade. Look for those, guys. If you see this in this market, if you see those earnings gap ups, look to see where the weakness starts to come in. Look to see if you can try to play that gap fill, because this market is still very weak in my opinion, and anything to the upside on earnings reports seems to be getting faded. So that's the first one. That's Upstart. The next trade, guys, as you probably know if you saw my last video, let's go ahead and start with Procter & Gamble. So Procter & Gamble, I'll go ahead and pull up the P&L for you guys to see. Right now, I am red on the position after a very nice day back on Friday, but today, unfortunately, was a pretty big red candle on the daily chart. As you guys know, my stop loss is right here at 156, so I am going to stick with that stop loss. I'm not going to go ahead and micromanage this position. I have March expiration giving me a little bit of time here to go ahead and give me some patience on this position, and we saw that downside today on Procter & Gamble. Now, why did the Procter & Gamble downside come in? My belief is that we just saw a little bit of weakness on the XLP. You guys can see right here, the XLP did have a red daily candle. However, that XLP red daily candle is not really something that's going to scare me out of this position just yet. I still think the XLP is consolidating very nicely. I still see the strength here around 74 and the potential for a little bit of an uptrend. Nice little wicks on the bottom side of these daily candles. So I am not interested in panicking out of this position just yet. I will respect my stop loss at 156 on Procter & Gamble. As you guys can see right here, my stop loss is right here at 156. So I will respect that stop loss if we come down to that level. But today we just had an overall, I wouldn't say it was a very weak day. The XLP closed down about 0.7%. So here was today's action on XLP, a little bit to the downside. Nothing that I believe is breaking trend. If I go to the 4-hour chart, you can see we're sort of consolidating in this little wedge that's happening right now. So I'll keep an eye on it. I'll keep an eye on the XLP. Here's the daily chart again. Still believe there could be some strength here. Not only due to the technicals, but overall due to the market environment right now. I think XLP could find strength in any continued volatility, any continued downside or weakness on technology. I think this could be an area where money starts to flow into still, and I still believe it looks bullish here. So that's why I continue to hold Procter & Gamble, as you can see here on the daily chart. Where we found resistance, and I'll actually pull up in the Discord chat where I was considering taking profits. So right here, guys, last week on Friday, I said Procter & Gamble hit price target 1 right here around 161. I was giving it a little bit of time before closing out one of my first contracts. This was right here at last Friday. It hit that 161 level. I was going to take profits on there, and that was just a little bit of a mistake on my part. I ended up holding, didn't take my profits on Friday because I felt like there was strength, and that's just a good little learning lesson for me. Next time, I probably should lock that in because the downside today on both of my contracts would have been much more manageable if I would have locked in profits there at 161. So I had my profit target. If I go to the 5-minute chart and we look at Friday's price action, we tapped it almost to the cent. You can see right here, 161.06 was the high of Friday's candle. And even though I saw my price target hit, I did not close that first contract, which I was planning to do so. So just, being honest, showing you guys, what I did wrong here. Could have definitely taken, my profit target here, one contract off at 161. Today wouldn't have been as worrisome. We did get the downside today. I did have both contracts still. So just a little mistake on my part, not managing that trade as good as I probably should have. In hindsight, it's easier to, give myself criticism here. If today Procter & Gamble pushed through 161, then I probably would have been very happy. I did not sell. I would have been saying now in this video, maybe I shouldn't have sold at 161. So it's all in hindsight. I can't really get upset about it, but it's a good takeaway on this trade. It's a good takeaway that maybe sticking to those strict profit targets is, in the long term, the better way to go about it. So 161 hit. That was my first price target. Did not take my profit, my first contract off. Mistake on my part. Daily chart, here it is. If we can get back above that 161 or anywhere near it, I will definitely take one off, and then we'll see if we can continue that push. But Procter & Gamble still above my stop, and I will continue to hold this until I do stop out of it at 156. So that's an update on P&G. And then the next one is Walmart. So Walmart, I'll go ahead and pull up the P&L for you guys to see. This is a swing trade that I am in, same expiration in March, and we did see a little bit of downside today. So I am trading, if you didn't see my last video, I am trading Walmart off this very strong demand on the daily chart, right around 135. Got in on this day, nice push. The last 2 days, a little bit of a pullback, nothing that I'm too concerned about. You guys can see right here, a little bit of a pullback. Just want to see it hold above 135. That's my stop loss. Under 135, I get out of this trade. About a 1% downside day on Walmart. If I go ahead and pull up the hourly chart, we can go ahead and take a look at what today looked like. Over the last few days, nothing crazy, just a little bit of slippage over the last 2 days. Looking to see if we can hold above that 135. If we can, I continue to hold this trade. My first price target is up here at 142, right here. First price target up at 142. Second price target up at 145. So Procter & Gamble, Walmart, both red for me today. A little bit of weakness on the overall market of the XLP on the consumer staple side of things. Did affect my swing trades here. Definitely could still see more upside in my opinion. More rotation into these consumer staple stocks as the market continues to be very volatile. So I'm not going to let one day like this affect me on some March expiration contracts. I will continue to watch, continue to manage, continue to stay strict to my stop losses. But as of right now, I still hold these positions and they are red. Just wanted to go ahead and provide that update for you guys, how I'm managing these positions. Let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know if you think these still look okay, if I should go ahead and cut my losses. I do want to stick to a stop loss. I don't want to just jump out of these things because of one red day. We'll see what happens, guys. So that was an update video, guys. Nothing too much going on for me recently. Been keeping it very small, been keeping it light. Not wanting to get too aggressive in this market right now. Just been sort of monitoring what's going on, getting a feel for how this news continues to come out about Russia and Ukraine. Don't want to expose myself too large right now. Keeping it small, really focusing on that long-term portfolio, continuously adding shares, dollar cost averaging to the long term, because I believe, into the future, over the next few years, I think that I will be very happy. My future self will be very happy that I will be adding to those shares at this time. So if things start to heat up, I'll start to definitely take more trades. But as of right now, those are the 3 positions that I did take from last week into this week. Upstart, very nice earnings fade, and Procter & Gamble and Walmart. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, press that like button, subscribe to the channel, guys, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.